All rise for the pledge, please. Mr. Gould, if you don't mind.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here.
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 Here. All right, well, thank you all for coming tonight. So tonight we are being recorded. We are on Channel 9 Live. If you do not wish to be recorded, you can head home and watch us on Channel 9. So pretty much what we have on the agenda today is just the budget that was postponed from the last meeting, just voting on the budget after taking in consideration what all the public comment was and how parents feel, how the staff feels. Because as Mr. Doherty pointed out, we don't really get that chance during the budget season. So this is the start of something probably different, Mr. Doherty. So I'd say thank you for that insight on that. So having said that, maybe we'll have the superintendent catch us up to speed first on where we were with the budget, and if there's anything that any members have to say, we can pop into that next.
Okay, yeah, sure, I'll start. So last week, I presented the budget. The total budget that was presented was $37,485,066. That's the original. It is a request of $2,716,531 increase from FY26. That basically that was constituted by fixed costs that we have to endure, whether it be COLAs, whether it be out-of-district tuition, transportation changes and all that. And then we did have a couple of, like, critical requests or requests that the principals made above what they had now. And that added up to another $195,790. So that was all in what we titled the itemization, budget itemization that everybody got, that one page. So that's where we were asked. I did get feedback from each of you. I answered questions this week, which was good. I tried to provide as much information as I could. Some were about this budget, some were about the budget process and the finance process. So I do look forward to doing that deep dive. But that's where we stand right now. And that would be exactly what we have now with the cost increases, adding 2 new aides to the vets, a STEAM specialist and a para to the Belmonte, a special education teacher and additional educational supplies to the middle school, and additional educational supplies to the high school as critical needs.
Okay. So after taking all that into account, from what we saw the critical needs are, and then seeing what our actual numbers are in the classrooms and number that we have for special ed, how much it's gone up, not, money-wise, but kid-wise. How many more kids we have in the district that have the specials. So we gotta make sure we're equipped for that. So we are, again, just so everybody knows, and I don't care, people can get mad all they want, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the big contracts don't help. So we can't have it both ways. We can't have these big raises and we can't ask for all these teachers at the same time. So what we're trying to do is work within our means, and we're trying to come up with a solution for everybody. Because again, I'm gonna say it, I said it in October when everything came up, we're going to be in trouble next year as well. We can't hide it from everybody, so we might as well start talking about it. So it's not just this year, it's going to be next year as well. So this is what we're trying to come up with. We're trying to come up with a feasible solution where it doesn't handcuff the kids. It's not the staff as much, it's the kids. Because the kids aren't, they have all these kids in the classroom. They have some kids that need help with the ELL that we can't help them with right now. So we're going to, the superintendent's working on it as we speak, with some enrichment money that we're gonna tap into that $3-point-something million that we have sitting over there. And we're gonna figure out ways to get these kids some help using that enrichment money, because that's what it's there for, and that's what we're gonna use it for.
The student support money.
Student support money, I'm sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Which is what the student support's how we got the enrichment.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
So having said that, I have some
Mr.
members here
Chairman.
that had some questions, so, Mr. Gould, go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, without delaying the process, I'd like to make a motion. And the motion would be to add $121,308 to what was presented by the superintendent, to add 4 paras at the Belmonte. This would increase superintendent's budget from $37,485,066 to $37,606,374, and increase the budget ask from the different groups from $2,716,531 to $2,837,839.
Okay, Chair will second for the purpose of
I'd
discussion.
like to talk on the motion.
Yep, sorry,
Okay.
second it, so you can, go ahead.
Thank you. One thing that really struck me last meeting when Mr. Doherty mentioned not following past practices and, paradigms, and how we review the budget, and how we listen up front, and how we process it, and how we get it in front of everybody, et cetera, et cetera. I spent a lot of time going through every line item, everything. I listened to the people last week, and I think we need a budget that addresses all the needs, of course, for the Saugus School District, while addressing the needs of all students, whether they be special needs, have learning disabilities, do not speak fluent English, have personal problems, and students that excel to offer curriculum that challenges them. When I served on the school committee before and was part of the planning classrooms, equipment, et cetera, the new facility, 4-school system, pre-K to 1, 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12, it was planned to have 10 classrooms per grade to keep the class sizes at a manageable level for teachers and paras, but also a size that could afford every student, whether they be best in class or struggling with class content, one-on-one time with their teacher or para. The loss of over $1 million from approved school committee budget last year made us lose 4 teachers, ELA, guidance counselors, paras, noon aides, etc. This motion, along with some personal movement, I hope we can make in the vets to better suit the demographics over there, would help a little bit by adding 4 paras. I urge my fellow school committee members to support my amended motion, and let's change the paradigm and have our superintendent, our school committee, finance committee members work with town manager, town financial officers, et cetera, to figure out how we might be able to fully fund this budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just,
Sorry.
sorry, I was doing a little math over, on this side, so I just wanted to make one correction. I think when we made that motion, there was already 1 para in the STEAM budget. So if we were gonna amend it, it would actually decrease the increase by the initial amount. Just to double check the math, which we can double check and remake the motion, I think, right, with the right number. That's fair?
Well, is the para, is it special ed para or just a regular gen ed para? Because it's,
There's 2 different kind of paras, Brian.
Yeah.
in the budget is for special education.
Right, that's
Okay.
different.
So that's a
Yes,
separate.
that's
so we're
okay.
adding gen ed paras, yeah.
That's separate, yes.
Yeah.
All right,
So this
so
is
I
additional.
just to make a clarifying point then, I think it's probably worth on the budget to say that 1 is special ed and 4 are, and I can show you this after, Mike, but 1 is special ed and 4 are gen ed.
I would say, I would word it, for FTE, instructional paraprofessionals, classroom support.
Okay.
And then
Could we just amend the motion to do that, please?
Just so it's, yeah. it
So it's
doesn't get
clear
screwed
what
up.
the purpose is.
I'll make a motion to amend the budget to include those words. Have a second.
I'll second it.
Could you say classroom support, Mike?
Yeah, you could call it, yeah, instructional paras for classroom support.
Okay. So I didn't write anything down, because I don't like to write things down, because I feel like it sounds better when I just go off my hip. So anyways, it was great to have some feedback from the public. I enjoyed that. I think next year we're gonna have a whole different process. I'm working on that with the rest of the board. I think that there should be public comment earlier in the year, not in the 11th hour. So we're gonna work on a timeline to have some some feedback, and we'll work with Mike and the rest of the board to really have some sessions with people who are involved, their kids are in the school, their teachers in the school. We want you all to give you feedback. Are we gonna be able to do anything about it? I don't know, but we're gonna take it, right? So the timeline is gonna change. I'll help people work on that, and I think the rest of this board will as well. I think to Mr. Gould's motion, does that solve the problems at any of the schools? Probably not, but my feedback towards this analysis was that I think for us to really be able to say we're in a spot and where we need to be, we need to go back to that. There is no budget, there are no people, it's ground zero, and we're building it up all the way from start to finish. And then if you do that, you have a pretty you can have a confidence level that you've done your due diligence. So I think it's a different discussion in the next year's budget. I just want to throw that out there because I think I've heard a lot of things about where there are inefficiencies in the schools, and you can't believe anything until you do the work, right? So we'll do all that work. I promise you that the committee that's meeting after this, we're going to do a lot of that work, and then we're going to come back and provide everybody with what we find. And again, it might not be what people want to hear, but it's what we're going to provide. I think it's important to echo on Tommy's comment that we're running into a point where contractual obligations are more than the town is getting in additional funding from tax revenue. So I'll say this, everybody who said to me, I'm so happy you're on the school committee, they've said it's because I have a finance background. So I'm speaking from a finance background. I'm forgetting that I'm a parent, I'm forgetting that I'm a resident. If we are getting 4% in revenue from the town, and the whole town's getting a 4% increase, it's gonna be tough to keep up with 5%, 5%. So I just wanna echo that we're gonna run into the same problem next year. And again, to Tommy's point, everybody deserves all the money in the world, and I hope everybody gets big raises. I'm not against that. I'm just a finance guy, and I think about numbers. I don't think about people. I try to think about numbers. So I think what we're proposing here lightens the load. It helps us get over this hump and get through these next 2 years where we're having, some large increases. When we get through that, I think we'll be able to really dig in and do some work. So over the next 6 months, you'll be hearing from me a lot. I'll tell you, it probably won't be on Facebook. So if you want to hear about it, you got to watch the school committee meetings. So that's my feedback.
You're not gonna be on Facebook talking about that? What's wrong with you?
It's not my plan, but don't hold me to that one. That's a quote.
Thank you, Mr. Zardi. Anybody else? No?
I have some things to say that I did write down.
Sorry.
Because, as my husband likes to say, my kids ate my brain. I have to start by acknowledging and thanking everybody who came to the last meeting and for the emails and the calls and the texts, because that is how we are guided up here on what it is that we do. So thank you. There is clearly a consistent message about what matters most, and it's reasonable class sizes, strong classroom support, and access to the services students need to succeed. I also do recognize, as Brian and other members have said, a very real fiscal constraint that we're operating under this year and frankly next year as well. We do have an obligation to be reasonable stewards of the dollars that come into the town, to echo what Brian is saying. And to respect the financial capacity of the town, because it will hurt us potentially in other places. We're in a position in large part because of the necessary and well-deserved increases in teacher and staff salaries, which significantly raise our baseline and will continue to create pressure for the next year. Given the reality, our responsibility is to ensure the dollars we do have are aligned with our highest priorities. An equity lens requires us to ask whether students across schools have comparable access to manageable class sizes and essential support. Under the current proposal, there are students that face higher class sizes and more limited counseling and ELL support than we should find acceptable. I am prepared to support the amended budget with a contingent that we have to look at rebalancing it as things become clearer and our class sizes become more clear. So, with that, I would make a motion that we support the amended budget that Dennis just talked about, with a contingency and a thought that we do reallocate some of those dollars to strengthen our effectiveness in the new school year.
All right, there is, it's already a motion on the floor, we just gotta vote on it,
You
just
go with?
Okay.
discuss it, so, thank you.
Yeah.
High school,
All right,
middle school, high school. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's all right, let them go around next time, it'll be
Yeah, I'm
fine.
not gonna, I'm sorry, Sharon.
Yeah,
Anybody
it's
else,
okay.
I do wanna make another.
Yeah, go ahead,
if you
Mr.
don't
Gould.
mind.
Yep.
You know, one of the things people need to understand, and I know Stephanie tried to approach the subject last time, and I just want to quickly run through some demographics. You know, students would, you know, and this is from 2019 to 2024, before COVID, after COVID. Students with disabilities went from 446 to 500, up 12%. Students with high needs went from 1232 to 1614, up 382 students, plus 31%. Low income from 2019 to 24 went from 774 to 1216, up 57%. English learners went from 163 to 340, 108% increase, 177 people. In the same time period, our FTE total went down 50, from 383 to 333, but down 13%. I understand the financial pressures. I understand exactly what Mr. Doherty said about if we get 5% increases and we only get 4% revenue, we have a problem. I'm just hopeful that Chapter 70 money stays high, and somehow we can work with the town to try to mitigate some of the differences. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gould. Anybody else? Okay, if not, we have the motion that was seconded, it's adding 4 instructional paras for classroom support for a total of $121,308 to the Belmonte budget, which increases our budget to $37,606,374 for an increase of $2,837,000 and $899. So, 839?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
8:30.
839, sorry.
that's right.
That extra $60 is gonna,
Pencils.
okay, so $2,837,839.
Yes,
Okay,
that was Dennis's motion.
okay, so there's a motion on the floor, Ms. McBride, if you would.
Roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Doherty?
Yes.
Mr. Gould?
Yes.
Mrs. Mastrocola?
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes. Okay, motion carries 5-0. So, off to the next steps.
Absolutely.
All right, next up, we have public comments. Anybody want to come up and speak at public comments? Anybody?
Just double check and make sure.
Nadia Pasquariello. I'm a paraprofessional here at the Belmonte. And I've been here for 30 years. And the last time I spoke, I was a little nervous, but thinking about it clearly, and I'm glad you're going to hire more paras. I'm hoping that next year the classroom sizes become smaller. You know, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I work in a sub-separate classroom. My classroom is 15 students with 2 that come in for just support. So that's 17 with 2 instructional paras and 1 teacher. I don't have the time in the day to, and I go out to classrooms because they're integrated. So I go out for social studies, science, you know, to other classrooms. And I see the classroom sizes are so big that you can't even, like, you can walk in a classroom and the tables and chairs are like to the door. You can't go in, you know? Everyone's in, like, you can't walk in between students. Today, I walked into the classroom, and I've seen this before, but I didn't say anything last time, but we were doing social studies. So the teacher said, take out your books, and the students took out their books, and it was, there wasn't enough for students. there wasn't enough books for all the students. That it was one book for 3 students to share in social studies. So I stood up and I said, can I use your book? And I had to ask the other kids if they can share, you know. But I was, and the condition of the books were, they were falling apart. I think those books were made in 2004, 2009, they were literally falling apart. And the teachers, so I went up to the teacher and I said, how do you teach social studies if you don't have enough books? And she says, well, if another teacher doesn't teach social studies, then we'll borrow hers. But that's not right. The students should have more. You know, they should have more. Like, we're getting less and less and less. The classrooms are bigger. Like, from September to now, we are getting exhausted, because there's no support. Like, there's no support. I'll call for a counselor if one of my students is having a bad day. I'll call for a counselor, and she'll say, I'm sorry, but I'm really busy today. I don't think I can make it. So then, I'm the para, I'm the counselor. I have so many titles, you know, that I have to fulfill, you know, and it just not enough. We need more. I wish you can hire 10 paras, because let me tell you, we need the help. If these numbers are going up that high, we need the help. And I know that, like, I've been working here for 30 years. My salary for 30 years is low, right? So you're hiring a para, it's cheap. It's very cheap, you know? But they're a lot of help. They're a lot of help, you know? So that's all I wanted to say. But I'm so glad that you upped the para, you know, to 4.
Nadia,
Be 10.
we usually don't, we're not supposed to go back and forth, but can I question, what
Yes,
grade are we
yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
with the
thank
social
you.
study books? Because my
Okay,
understanding
so
was, that we're supposed to,
I work with 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yep.
And this was 3rd grade.
okay,
And this was Ms. Agrippo's classroom. And I just couldn't believe it. It has been on my mind for a long time, but at the last meeting, I wanted to bring it up, but it slipped.
Thank you for
know?
bringing it
yeah,
up.
because I was under the impression that we left behind all the old
Yeah.
books, and we were supposed to have new books for everybody. You know,
I
when
have
we
another
moved into these
question
new
for you.
schools.
Sure.
Would something like that come out of our consumable budget? Is that,
That would be out of
Why?
that's an educational supply, yes.
right, okay.
Non-recurring.
It's non-recurring, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You know, administration is doing so much that they can do, like everyone's hands are on board. As far as the principal, vice principal, everyone's hands are on board. And I'm glad, but we need a lot more people, like we really do.
No,
You know?
Thank you for your
I
comments.
honestly appreciate everything. You guys are really amazing, the Paras. You guys do a lot. You're like the utility player in baseball. You know, you're not gonna stay in one spot. They move you everywhere. And believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed here. And this is why, you know, Mr. Gould and actually everybody here was talking about Paras first, you know, because
Yeah.
you guys are, again, no offense to anybody else, but you guys are pretty much the heart and soul of what goes on, because you
Thank
keep
you.
the classrooms
Thank you.
together,
Thank you.
and you keep the
That's right.
lunchroom together, you keep, whatever they ask you to do, you guys keep it together. So
Yeah.
we do appreciate it, so thank you.
And I do, like, I have communication with Mr. Hashem and Dawn. You know, it's always an open door, but I feel like I worked here for so long, I can't see my classroom going down.
Right.
It has to get better. It has to get better. There has to be more for these kids.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you
thanks.
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep coming back to us. You actually do a good job up there, so thank you.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
we should.
Anybody
really-
else?
oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, it'd be great if we had something in place so that that type of commentary could be shared in the moment instead of at a school committee meeting, like a book or something, like how do we get that
Yeah,
out
well, the
there?
books,
I mean, that's,
again, that was supposed to be, when we merged the schools, everything was supposed to be left behind, and the new stuff was supposed to come in.
that's
So
fine.
it's kind of
Mr.
concerning that we
Chairman?
have these old
Well,
books.
right, I mean. if
Go ahead,
it's
Mr.
in it.
Gould.
If there's no other public comments, I'd like to go with the basketball game and make a motion to adjourn.
We gotta vote on your motion for you to leave.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, if we got nothing else, then we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wait, anybody else have anything to say first?
No,
don't
I
wanna
said
cut
if there
anybody
is
off.
nobody.
All right,
Okay.
then we'll make a motion to adjourn. Sue, please.
Stephanie did a motion, right?
Shannon.
Oh, I thought Shannon made, yeah, I'm sorry.
Shannon did, I
Yeah, Chair was,
seconded.
Chair
That's
seconded,
all right.
oh, Mr. Gould seconded.
S and
Oh, yeah.
S, no worries.
Yeah, we second the motion.
Okay. Do I have to roll call? I don't-
Yeah, all right. All in favor?
I.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you, everybody, for coming.